Oscar Wilde once penned the definition of cynic as a person who knows price of everything but value of nothing. He hardly knows that in future is going to apply to many other organizations and people. Is it government nowadays? Let us see how. Good afternoon everyone. This side Prafull Dwivedi. I'm LB 3 years, second year course student, and I'm going to present my views in the favor of the motion that water crisis is the complete failure of the government. I am going to divide my debate in three important parts. One is the statistics, second is the reasons, and third is the case study. As far as statistics goes, it shows the fact that Niti Aayog has recently published a report in which it says that around 2 lakh people die every year just because of water crisis. Around 500 people die every day because of the water crisis. And because of this, in 2030 itself, people, around 40% of the population of India are going to face acute water crisis. This situation is alarming, but the facts are even more alarming. Reasons responsible behind these statistics and this huge deplorable condition are three. One important thing is the corruption. We have to enlist this fact and continue to enlisting this fact that there exists a vicious cycle which is responsible for this corruption. One is the ministers at the highest, second is the officers, and third is the land dwellers. All this entire vicious cycle results in the huge amount of corruption of that fund, which is amount of the taxpayers, which is amount of the shopkeepers GSTs. It results in the huge amount of misappropriation of those funds in the name of the schemes like Atal Bhujal Yojana, like Nal Har Ghar Yojana. And I give you a statistic, around 1190 crore is spent in a year in Madhya Pradesh for the entire solution of this water crisis, but hardly any person is able to get that benefit, not more than 5% of the people of that Madhya Pradesh. Second important thing is the huge amount of land encroachment. Again, the land dwellers, they play a very important role. The sand miners, they play a very important role in encroaching that land. And because of this, first of all, they bribe the officers. Officers manipulate the ministers, and many ministers, in the wake of this corruption, undergo crony capitalism, and this resulted in a vicious cycle responsible for this encroachment of the lands. And the third and the most important factor is huge amount of alternative techniques which are even making this condition more deplorable. And one of this is submersible usage. You will be hard to believe, but you have to, that in Bihar itself, around in Begusarai, around 500 submersibles are used to be planted every day. And because of this, huge amount of water crisis in the groundwater level is taking place. And we must be able to witness this fact that if it goes down beyond a particular level, then arsenic pollution is going to happen, and because of this, a huge amount of distress in the health process will take place. And the case study that I want to put forward is of Darbhanga, where it is said that around 4,000 ponds used to take place in around 40 years before, but now hardly any is left. All these things aptly sum up the speech that the situation is alarming and situation is nuisance, and we need to do something.